How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to the Cosmic Ray channel. I'm your host, Cosmic Ray. Okay, so I'm going to chalk this up to the Cosmic Ray experience. So I've just been having some random moments of life kind of thing. So let me just kind of give you the Cosmic Ray experience, if you will. So just to do an experience from work. As some of you may know, I'm currently doing what I like to call a 3D task, 3D job, if you will, working for the man and or woman, whatever it is, right? Yeah, okay. So one day, no, today, early in the morning, like going through just random challenges, just like everyone else in life. And this wasn't necessarily like a bad experience. This was kind of a good experience. It's just at first I thought it was going to be really bad. Let's just say I had to meet someone outside or a customer or guest, if you will, kind of give them some of their stuff that they ordered. And I couldn't fulfill certain things that they wanted. Not saying that they had like any outlandish type of request or something that it was just way out there. It was just something that I couldn't do. I wasn't able to do. Um, and for whatever reason, they're like, well, okay, I'm just going to reorder whatever this item was. So no big deal. I apologized, and went back. And I was talking to a coworker about the situation. And I'm like, oh man, this person's kind of just difficult. I mean, I don't want to get too much into the details or anything, but let's just take it for what it's worth. It was slightly difficult, and we're just kind of just joking around about it. And I know it's not really right, but just trying to just kind of just paint you the picture of what was going on at that moment of time. And so lo and behold, all of a sudden, they ordered something, and I got like an alert and went out there and kind of check it out, and gave them the item, and they noticed something on my wrist, and I have, as many of you may have seen, but I have like a bracelet, if you will, that has lava rocks or lava stones, and it surrounds the 7 chakras in each stone. And you can put like essential oils or whatever you want on there or not. But something I definitely use in a lot of my videos, meditations, something that I really love. And it's one of these things where I've had many moments where other guests told me like being a guy, they don't usually see guys wear them, or a whatever a man's supposed to be. I guess guys don't wear these. I don't know. But I even had a guest tell me about that, and saying like, good for you. And anyways, I'm like, whatever. I'm only telling you that because the saying means like so much to me. And so they're like, so this guest goes, hey, where'd you get that? And, I really like that. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, you can kind of get it anywhere, but I didn't really tell him exactly where I got it from. And to tell him it belongs in a set, and one of them has lapis lazuli, and then one's like tiger's eye, um, and then this one being lava stones. But I'm just wearing the lava stones one. And she was trying to make a good compliment on that, and saying that she's been trying to find something like very similar, because she like broke something and then also lost one that did have something of the 7 chakras on there, but nothing of like lava stones that she was able to find. And I'm like, oh, okay, and just talking to her about the 7 chakras and stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, and then I started walking away. I'm like, okay, yeah, bye. And then at this time, and compared to other times when people maybe commented on it, I never thought about like just, oh no, I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything, but I never try to like just give it to someone. I just never thought about it. Sorry, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning for me. I'm a little tired. It was one of those things where I just didn't think about it, right? But I was leaving, and I was like kind of far away, but this person somehow still happened to be in their car, and something just clicked. And I was like, let me turn back. I ran back, and I was like, Miss, would you like this? And I took her right off my wrist. I'm like, would you like this? I would like for you to have this. And she's like, what? Like, she kind of stood beside herself, like, no, no. And she was kind of feeling ill. Some of the items that she got um, had to do with, like, like just sick medicine and whatever. So, she was just, kind of just beside herself, like, no, no, it's okay. I'm like, no, ma'am, I think this is one of those moments of life where, I would like for you to, have this. You made a nice compliment on this. And it's funny because I took out the bracelet that I had, this guy Jason gave to me, and commented on it, or I mentioned about it in another video where he kind of gave me something that was something he was wearing, and it was a good feeling, and it was something that I had a bond with him, something strong. I never really thought about, that someone could have done the kindness, of their heart, and at that time, like, it was just like an immediate reaction. Like, it wasn't something where I wanted to, like, be like, oh, look at me, I'm trying to do a good deed. I expect all these good things to happen to me. It wasn't like that. It was just more of, I just, I don't know, something just clicked. Now, all the other times when people have commented on it before, I never thought about giving it to them. I don't know. But in this moment, I'm like, ma'am, here you go. And she was thrilled, and she couldn't believe someone would have done that. Don't get me wrong. For a split second, I think I was going to do that. um, but I will say this, though. As soon as I did that, and don't get me wrong, in society, we try to work hard for the things that we have in life, and obviously, not saying we don't deserve some of the stuff, but sometimes we talk about like materialistic things, in life. So I don't know, something just at that moment just said, you know, to do it, whatever you want to call it, whatever was happening to me in that moment, right? I was like, okay, let me just start. Like, let me just give this to you, and then walked away. Ever since then, my life condition at that moment changed. Not saying I was very negative or anything, but it was like in the morning, and it's kind of set the precedence of the whole day, right? Set the mood, set the energy or tone for the day, um, and I felt great. I felt very uplifted, and I wasn't doing it because I knew something like that would happen or I wanted something like that to happen, and I didn't feel like it was really like a random act of kindness. I just felt like just change. It was like a change up. It was something that I just felt it was just right. I feel it was something just right to do at that time. And when I left for work, I had that same moment that I mentioned in the video where like I felt like I was going to see that guy Jason. Um, and after everything that happened with that guest or customer, if you will, like later in the day, like things like good things start happening. Just my energy, everything, my just well being, and I always feel that. And this doesn't mean like like, oh, you're special or anything like that, but I feel like if you try to be positive through the dark times, like genuinely be positive, not like, oh my god, I have to be positive because everyone expects me to be positive, I gotta be positive, not like that, but just because you feel positive inside, you just feel naturally good, you feel naturally just full of energy. Sorry, whew, like you feel just naturally like just really good with the energy and stuff, and sorry, like good things that just happen, and good spirits, whatever you just want to call it, right? I'm not here to tell you what it is, um, or what to believe in. But I was at work, and the same day, all day, same thing that happened today. Um, I've I had this like instant feeling. I was like something changed, right? It's just like someone farted, and you like what just happened, right? There's just something just changed, and I knew that guy was in my store, and where I work was like up in the front area, so I actually just saw him. Like, I mean, I didn't see him before that. Obviously, it was just like, and then I looked. I was like, oh shit! Like, all right, man, this is definitely some ish, right? So I throw up my hands like, hey, what's up, man? Um, it was like really short, but anyways, something like that. It's just I don't know, something just felt right, all day today, and I know I'm going to kind of go off tangent by talking about something else, and I know this is not necessarily a cosmic ray experience, but I don't know, something I just wanted to talk about, like with homeless people. Where I work, we see a lot. I see a lot of things that happen. I don't even know how far in depth I want to go into this video regards to this topic about homelessness. Um, if you knew anything about me, or what I call Ray back in the day, or back in the day Ray, I've had some experiences, some bad experiences with homeless people, and some like got into arguments with like my wife at the time, about just random stuff. Like I thought I was about to have to get in a fight with a homeless person. It was nuts. Um, I mean, I have many, many, many stories that I can tell you, and just probably beyond the norm of the stories. Some of them is going to be just like what you would have gone through with homeless people. But back in the day, Ray had certain like mentalities, certain type of belief systems or thoughts that maybe were ingrained in me or something, you know, and there's definitely like different takes on this. Now, one, I'm just gonna go through the obvious, and this is not how I feel anymore. So I'm just gonna easily feel free to kind of like just say what I'm gonna say because I don't believe in this, anymore. But it's just, just want to just tell you, just for whatever, like just let you know how I was. There's a part of me that did feel a little bit bad, but for the most part, it was, oh, homeless person. Immediate, the first reaction would be like, oh, this person's, on drugs, drunk, don't give them money. They're just gonna use it for, bad things, drugs or drinking, and they're not gonna use it for food or something good. When I was a kid, I was like, oh, why don't they just save all this money and save it up for, I was dumb. I was like, I'll save this money for like, like an apartment or for this or for that. Obviously didn't understand money back then. And as time grew, I was like, oh, well, why are they doing this and that with them? Why can't they do this? Why can't they do something more positive with the money? Why do they have to be at these places where everyone's at, or why can't anyone just be themselves and not be bothered by them? Oh, this person's like all drugged up and they're sharing needles and dirty scum. Like get away from me, and like, I'll get a job, like, get a job. Um, and or there's the other take, which is more of after everything that happened with me being spiritual. Like I said, I wasn't always like very negative. There was times I would give money and whatnot. So this is not like I never had like a nice, place in my heart or anything like that. Um, and just in case it's like the first time you ever see my videos, like I was born Buddhist, so I'm not saying, ooh, every Buddhist is nice. I'll just give you an idea, so it's like I did try to believe in the human condition, being kind and whatnot. It was just one of those things where like when you see it too often, you start believing that, too much of that's like your reality, versus the other side, which I'm about to say is that, some of them been there for, maybe they've had these bad experiences, or I've been having bad experiences because maybe something happened to them. Like maybe they were, they never had someone caring for them. Maybe they didn't have the family members. Maybe they were the ones who maybe followed synchronicities of whatever they thought was happening to them in life. And something happened where something dark got a hold of them, whatever you want to call it, and they couldn't get out of it. They couldn't see it or feel that light anymore. And they couldn't follow the synchronicities, and they didn't, like, they were the ones who like moved across country because they felt they were supposed to, and then they didn't have any family members that could help them come back or whatever it is. Or maybe they like fought in wars that for they whatever reason they had to, and they when they came back, it wasn't like the right way for them in a sense to come back of the to like intertwine back into reality or get back with this what they call civilian life. Maybe they saw some bad stuff happen. Maybe things that was they couldn't be able to handle, that they didn't think they were going to get into, even though of course people are like, well, it's war, what do you think? Or it's, it's this, why wouldn't they think something bad happened to them? Or why wouldn't they be strong or something? And maybe other people fell into things that maybe it was drugs at one time, and then but they just couldn't get themselves out. What if there was something that they did have something good in their heart, but maybe they, like I said, they maybe moved or been somewhere else, and maybe they got fired and they didn't have that help. They didn't have that helping system, or none of their family members could help or wanted to help them. Now, I'm not saying that this particular thing I just said is the exact reality of every single person that's out there that's homeless. I know that it's not okay. So I know like when I start telling you this stuff, you know, of course you may have like that knee jerk reaction, like, well, I have a story for you. I got this. Trust me. Like I get it. And if you do have a story, definitely you can share that too with me in the comments and whatnot. Like of course, is open forum as always. It is just, I had different perceptions of what my reality is or what it could be, about the situation, and tried to look at it more of a positive perspective than something more from a negative perception of life. And sometimes, when you see negative things happen all the time, you feel like that's your reality, like that's what it is. And that just trying to find a kind heart in your soul for them is all BS because there's no point. Um, and, I've shared with you guys, with everyone out there, about I would like to have like a system to be able to kind of rehabilitate homeless people. And there's times that I've and please, by all means, like I just want to just share certain things with you, and I know I should just share and not feel like I have to like set little like things for you guys to. It's just only because if you never see my videos, you're probably like, well, what about this? What about that? Like I've tried to do like what I call Buddha blessing bags, or people just call them blessing bags or whatever, and have like a local care package of certain things for them. Like toilet paper maybe if they're female, and other like lady stuff, and then like toothpaste, brushing their teeth. There's like I even got them like a gift certificate for like a gift card, sorry, gift certificate, I don't know why I said that, gift card for like food places and whatnot, and other things too, or whatever I could do. Something I think got like a mini poncho kind of thing for when it rains, during the time when I was handing them out, and it was like the raining season kind of thing. So there's certain things that like now I definitely try to change things up, and just, and who knows, everyone has a story, but I was thinking or feeling guided to say that maybe it's not necessarily for me or for us to find out like that there has to be a story for them, um, like it has to be a certain way or be negative or anything, that something happened to them, and it's not necessarily for me to find out, or I guess another way people say judging, but that's not what I usually think of when I think of judging. It's more like looking at them and start judging them, like, oh, they're this, they're that, they're this, but more of like to not have to worry about a story, whether if it's good or bad or what they're. I mean, you can obviously. It's good to care about people to find out. I'm not saying don't talk to anyone like that. Trust me, you can find a lot of interesting things, especially about yourself. You know, and it's just one of those feelings that I just wanted to be guided to say that maybe that doesn't necessarily like matter in a sense of just doing it just to do it. I'm not saying you have to, but just truly like something comes inside you that you're like, I want to do that. I want to do this, and then you do that kind of thing. I felt part of me too that some homeless people like I always said that when it comes to being spiritual, uh, or when you have a spiritual awakening, you have to kind of unlearn what you have learned. You have to get out of like this quote unquote 3D matrix of life, this constant like battle of having to go to work and feel like you're. My apologies, I know this word shouldn't be used, like, because there's obviously people who've had this happen to them, so obviously when I use this word it's going to sound bad, but like, but please kind of just bear with me when I say like when people are enslaved into the matrix, kind of thing, just, or you feel like you're just begrudging to try to do this job or whatever it is, and obviously that's not like, like when people say slave labor, obviously it's not like slave labor, because there's people that's had that happen, and that's definitely not cool, and to compare that to what we have now, that's dumb. We shouldn't be doing that, but just trying to just generally talk to you guys, just saying like, when you feel like you're like stuck in this thing, like this whole every single day of life, and it's like you're like feel like you're trapped. I mean, I should say that, like you're more trapped into it, and like in this matrix, or type is trapped in this type of mentality. It's hard for you to kind of feel this like be a meditative field of this whole let go of reality, because you're constantly thinking, your brain's constantly working of all these things that are going on in your day-to-day life. It's hard to meditate because you got stuff focused on with work, you got meetings, you got stresses of this, or how am I going to do this, or you got so many things going on. How am I going to pay the bills, how am I, taxes, what am I going to do for my kids or family or whatever it is. If you don't have to, or maybe for my dog or for my animals or for myself or whatever, pay these bills. It's hard because you're constantly going, right? And it was at one point, when I was laid off from a job, working like 11, 10 years, almost 11. It was one of those things where, sorry, I'm like feeling something right now. I had to like unlearn what I learned about life and things that happened to me when I was younger. I had to let go of like I had to been laid off for more than one reason, and this was part of it. Like I had to be able to like just forget this kind of things of like being stuck this mundane like thing of just keep going and going and going and going and going, and not be able to just take time for yourself, just to just take a deep breath, right? It's like you forget to breathe. I say that because with people who are homeless, I always have this good feeling that they may be more somewhat spiritual in a sense, or at least at one point, before maybe things could have taken a darker toll on them. Because when you don't work anymore, that's something where you start to letting go of other things, of that stuff. Now, depending on what happened to them afterwards, that's, that can definitely be, talked about and argued and going back and forth. But it's just one of these things where I feel that they're able to let go of that, of the other world, and concentrate on other things. Now, of course, they have other worries, other things going on. It's not saying that they don't have a worry at all or anything like that. That's far, from what I'm trying to say. It's like one aspect of letting go of something. So I always felt they were a lot spiritual. So you could definitely, in a sense, learn a lot. And to when you see them, to know maybe that's something that they're just going through in their own journey, in a sense. And if we're able to help at some point for whatever reason, and I always feel like when you give someone money, regardless if it's a homeless person or not, or your friend, I mean, if it's like a borrowing or a loan, that's different. Okay, when it's a loan, it's a loan, but if you're just giving someone money, now if someone's lying to you, that's one thing. But if you're giving up your own money to someone, technically once you give that money to someone, I personally feel it's none of my business what they do with that money. Now, if someone gives me a sob story, and if I'm giving someone money, yes, I would hope they would use that money for that thing that they had said. Yes. But let's just say in this hypothetical, or I've done this, let's not say hypothetical, but if I give like a homeless person money, I don't no longer think about like the whole like, oh, well, if they're going to use it for drugs, they're going to use it for alcohol, of course. And shoot, if it's cold outside and you only have a couple bucks, it's not like they're going to get a pair of jeans and a nice pair of shoes or anything, right? But yeah, maybe they need alcohol just to stay warm, just for that night, so they don't freeze to death, right? Shelters, places can only accept so many amount of people, so I don't know if you guys knew that. You can't accept everyone. And there's times where I just feel once I give them that money, it's up to them. You have that good hopes. Maybe you set those intentions. I don't know. I don't know if that's happened. I really try to set that intention. I do tell them. Well, you've heard my video before when I gave a couple homeless people. This was like 10 o'clock in the morning. This is like in downtown area where I live, and this is funny because I was guided to go downtown. I had all these random like synchronicities, and it was I think that was weird. It was freaking cold outside, and like I gave him like $20, and then I started crying like 20 feet away from them. And they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, please take this. I told him like, "No, I'm glad you took this." Because when I gave it to him, I was like, "Please take this," and like, because I felt guided. Yeah, I didn't know what was going on at that time. I didn't know what was going on with me at that time. Something inside me was different. Something inside me changed. It was just like, you have to do this. You have to do this. And Man, I feel like I'm about to cry right now. Man, as I say this, I'm listening to some song and there's like, bro, what if there was a God above? And now I'm like, oh God. Oh. Um, and whatever it is you want to believe, it doesn't have to be believe in God. Trust me, if you've heard me before, it's like whatever you want to call it. Source is what I usually call it. But it's maybe it's one of those moments where like you just do something nice, just do something, you just help, regardless of what happens from there. It's just let it go. Try not to be like how I was. I mean, you be you. Whatever that means to you. But I just say, please don't be like how I was. Just do what you. Once you give up that money, it's up to the universe. Let's just say that. And let it go to where it goes. And yeah, there's so many things that are horrible in this world. We try to paint it nice sometimes, and I feel like Cosmic Surfers, I feel like anyone who's watching this, you are able to make that change, inside you to maybe make this place a little more beautiful, maybe more like a heaven on this earth, for all of us to be able to just rejoice and just try to be happy as much as possible. I know I could just be talking about like some BS out in the air, talking from my rear, if you will. But I feel like if we just start, and a lot of you already have, just start, maybe we can just slowly start changing this place, make it something worthwhile, Been seeing a lot of stuff in my community, and I feel like I can't change it all myself. And I feel like I can't change this world by myself. And I know it starts with you, it starts with me. First it's just one, but now we're more than two, we're many now. And if we all just, I don't know, just give it a shot, just try, see what happens, just just put that faith in yourself to make that change, just try and see what happens. Who knows man, what happens. Okay. Cosmic Surfers, I'm just gonna just let it go for now, or leave this video for now. For some reason I felt guided in a sense not to even do my candle love. I don't even know if there's anything. I always felt like instead of just being a guy talking, I always felt like at least you had something with, like, when I do my candle love, candle magic stuff, to be able to see something. But sometimes life, you just gotta just follow what you're guided to. And I feel like just right now, today, tonight, or this morning, whatever time it is right now, I don't even know, to not do that. So I just wanted to be able to say to you, thank you for being you as always. By the time you see this, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I hope you all shine. Hope you all shine. Show that light inside you. Show that light inside from within. To show it to others. Smile just because you want to smile, not because you have to, or you feel like you're forced, or you're supposed to. Smile, and who gives a blank if someone's like, why are they smiling? That's not for them. You do it for you. You do it for you. Good night, Cosmic Surfers. We are many, so let's do this.